break lunch or cook dinner. So when I need a fast meal without sacrificing nutrition or flavor, I head to BurgerFi, located at 257 North Cattleman Road, Sarasota, Florida, where the beef is grass-fed, the fries are hand-cut, and the beer-battered onion rings are as big as your head. Speaking of beer, BurgerFi also has a great selection of craft beer and wine, so you can choose the perfect beverage to wash down, arguably the best burger in town. Get your BurgerFi fix from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. For more information, give them a call at 941-800-1800. That's area code 941-800-1800. BurgerFi, gourmet burgers that are second to none.
Are you overrun with bugs or other critters in the Sarasota area? Have no fear. Carefree Pest and Termite Solutions is here to free your home of unwanted guests. Carefree has been serving this community for years. Owner and operator Tim Horvath can handle insects of all sizes as well as rodents and can service all types of structures, both residential homes and commercial businesses. They also offer free inspections, so give them a call at 941-556-9019. Again, that's 941-556-9019. Carefree Pest and Termite Solutions, proud sponsor of Booker Football and STLR Sports Talk. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Touchdown!
Yo, it's your boy Boosie. You listen to Sky's the Limit Radio.
Hell, you could say that 10,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough.
Entertainment with no ceilings.
Fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
Sky's the Limit Radio, baby.
Entertainment with no ceilings.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you see?
It's the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning.
Look around your neighborhood, everybody has
This is the Morning Wood with High C.
Because I'm going to teach you how to make a jelly donut.
Real talk. She ate my butt.
I'm sorry, she did what?
She ate my butt. She ate your ass? Everyone's eating everyone's ass now.
There is no way everybody's eating everyone's ass.
Everyone's eating everyone's
It's impossible.
ass.
Everyone is not eating everyone's ass.
And on some.
I'm on TV. Oh, shit. First cops, now this. Oh, man, I'm be a star, son.
I play a lot of Grand Theft Auto. I think I know how to handle a gap.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue.
It's party time! P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta!
What's up, everybody? It's your boy High C coming to you live on the Morning Wood. I got my boy Awesome in the building.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, I was looking at my phone. So when you said that, I was like, oh, I should speak.
that would definitely help. We got Scubalicious in the building.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today?
Oh, I hope they're doing as good as we are. And we're actually joined today by a special guest. We got Sno0py Watts in the building. How you doing today, man?
Yo, what's poppin'? I'm happy to be here.
Hey, we're happy to have you. And this is actually a little different for us with a person of your caliber and
talent
and just stuff with music. I mean, we've had some live band guys in here. Locally, there's a group called Summer Survivor that comes in every now and then, drops some other kind of like a reggae rock band almost. It would be the way to describe them, but they do a lot of stuff locally here. Okay. So we've had a few bands. I believe Job Movement's been in the building, but we've never actually just had like a drummer from a band like by himself in here. So you're definitely a little, we got questions today.
He's popping the cherry today.
Yeah, because he's not necessarily like he's in a band. He travels, he does tour stuff. So it's like he's one of those guys like, hey, maybe your drummer's sick or something. Maybe something happened. Hey, you can call this dude up. He can get a couple of practices in, and he just jumps right in, and now you got you a drummer. Right. So first off, let's just introduce the people to yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Sno0py Watts. I'm 24 years old. I'm a recent graduate of Bethune-Cookman University.
Nice.
I'm a Soul Tone Cymbals artist, in-ears audio artist, D2AG owner. brand. It's a worldwide brand known as Dedicated to Achieving Greatness.
I like that.
So it's a movement that's meant to push a person to constantly strive towards reaching their fullest potential. So we're just happy that, you know, we're spreading the awareness and really getting the message out there. And by my way of doing it, you know, I do it by way of doing shows. And I also have like a good team of guys that, you know, we all have our own way of going about getting it out there. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, a brief overlay of D2AG.
And I like that. I see you rocking the shirt.
I know, that
too,
sounds
man.
so cool too. D2AG, like just the meaning of it alone is awesome, but just the way it sounds. I love acronyms that just sound cool, and you did a great job at coming up with that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Dedicated to Achieving Greatness. Definitely make sure you check out the brand. If you got a couple dollars, order you up a shirt, man, because you know you got to support the artist, man. No matter where you're from, where you're at, support the artist, because you never know. They may be the next big thing that you see on
you never know.
TV.
And I noticed his name is spelled with a 0, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not 2 O's, it's O0. And I love that. Like, to me, clever, very, very clever. You know, this guy's smart all around, and it's showing in his name, Sno0py Watts. Like, for one, I got a question. Is the Watts, like, does that mean something, or is it like your real last name?
Yeah, Watts is my actual last name.
Okay, I didn't know if that meant like I'm bringing the wattage, you know what I mean? Like, you never know, because it could mean that too.
Yeah, it does have a meaning, though, you know, so definitely.
I actually like that one there. Now, how long? Well, actually, let me rewind it back to young Sno0py days. When was it that you really kind of fell in love with music and decided, hey, I want to kind of get involved in music some way, shape, or form?
Well, I first started at 4 years old. I just started out just kind of growing up, you know, my family church back at home in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And that's where I got my start, you know, as far as like realizing that it was something that I could do. But I didn't really take it seriously until like my sophomore year of high school. And like since I did that, like, you know, since I made that decision, at that time I was going to Palm Beach Lakes High. And I got a scholarship to attend Bethune-Cookman University.
Okay.
And yeah, so that pretty much paid my way through school. And then, like, while I was in school, I was, you know, of course, doing what I needed to do for life after.
So I'm assuming when you got, like, before you got the scholarship, whatever, you had joined a band at your school.
Yeah.
And did all that. Now, were you on the drum line? Like, you know, you doing it up like Nick Cannon, doing like the battle of the bands and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. I got a lot of my start there too. I started out at Roosevelt Middle School.
Okay.
And from Roosevelt Middle, I went to Palm Beach Lakes, and then I was the drumline section leader there, like my senior year.
Nice.
And then after that, you know, I was saying, I got the scholarship to go to Bethune-Cookman. So I did marching band pretty much from middle school all the way up through college.
Now, what were some of the musical influences that kind of guided you in the direction to where you wanted to play drums?
Well, I would have to say, first off, it was definitely my family. My dad was a drummer when I was growing up, so him, and then I always had like an older cousin. You guys may have heard of him. His name is Sno0py. He's like a big producer. He produced for NBA YoungBoy, Kodak Black.
Okay. Yeah.
He's done some things for Gucci Mane, so, you know, shout out to Sno0py. But yeah, so he was like, you know, he was also a drummer too, so we always just kind of came up close to each other, you know, and he taught me a lot too.
Now, have you ever done anything as far as production-wise in the music industry? You know, have you you know, do you make beats or anything like that?
I don't do it. I haven't been doing it as much lately, but I am planning on getting back into it.
Okay.
But I have done a few things like in the past, but now I'm to the point where I'm really taking, you know, production more seriously, because my main focus for like the past 10 years has just been the live element.
Yeah.
You know, so with me getting my name out there, and then, you know, of course, you know, having to pay your dues and go through the whole process, like,
yeah.
Now that part has, you know, I'm still steadily working, but now that I got to a certain point, you know, I also want to implement production.
Now the live element, that's a whole different character. Now, so going to BCC and then graduating from there, where did the whole like live gigs and all that stuff start really rolling in, and you decided that, you know, hey, this is what I want to do. Let me start here and see where it goes, and how did that progress?
Oh yeah, well, it really kind of started for me. I started out playing in churches.
Okay.
I got my first like real professional gig at like 14.
Awesome.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, thank you. I was.
Now, was that a church situation?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was, but that was like my first time actually getting compensated to to play.
Yeah.
So that was, I kind of saw that as a start, but from there, man, it just started out at different churches around the city, and then once I went off to school, while I was in marching band, I was playing like for different churches around Daytona.
Awesome.
And then from there, like I was also a part of the jazz combo, so I was doing different things for different reasons. But after I graduated, then that's when it really became like full time. So it's all I do now.
Now, with you doing the church stuff, have you had an opportunity to work with any like big names in like the the Christian music or Christian hip hop or anything? Who's some people you had an opportunity to work with?
I got the chance to play with God's Baby Girl. She's a gospel hip hop artist.
Okay.
I've played with Trent Corey.
Okay.
And I have also worked with James Smith in New Birth. And he was actually like my first touring opportunity. My senior year in college, actually, we were doing a show out in New Orleans at the Superdome. So that was like my first.
Wow, that's cool. I was just gonna say, like, what was the furthest that you've gone with touring? And then he goes, "Oh, I've been to New Orleans and the Superdome." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's pretty bad."
That place
is awesome.
That place is huge. That's a big venue, especially you sell something like that out, man. Listen, I would imagine the acoustics in there are really nice. It's probably a really great place to play in.
Yeah, it was amazing because it was for this legendary player that used to play for them like a while back. His name is, I think, Ricky Hamilton.
Yeah.
And so it was like his party. So
that's
they
awesome.
just had the venue set up for him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Not too many people can be like, "Yeah, I was drumming there and I did it."
Now, what's the biggest crowd you played with? Was that like one of the biggest shows you've ever done, or have you done like bigger arenas?
Nah. I would have to say maybe the recent tour that I just finished with the West Coast Black Theater Troupe. We played in front of about our venue was a 600 seater, but each night was sold out, so that was roughly like 3,000.
Okay, that's nice. Now, what's it like playing in like huge arenas like the Superdome? And when they're really nice and
yeah, is that like nerve-wracking to you?
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
You come out there, you see all those people out there, or with the lights so bright you really can't see the crowd as much.
I mean, that show wasn't like a Christina Aguilera concert or like a Wiz Khalifa concert where it was like super packed out. So as far as like the energy was definitely amazing, and just to have like the experience of being like on stage and looking out and just seeing like the people and then feeling like the monitors and everything that's on stage with you. So I mean, it was pretty cool.
Now, probably about a year and a half ago, I got the opportunity to go down to Okeechobee Music Fest, and Kendrick Lamar was there. And when he performed, he actually did something a little different. He had his DJ, but he also had a live band with him. He had a drummer and a couple guitars, and it was just kind of like it was a different element to like the hip hop world than what I'm used to seeing when I go to concerts. And I thought that was really unique, and it kind of made the live show even better, because even though you had the DJ back there playing the instrumental, you had the band as another element playing along with the music, and it was just you can just tell like the crowd got even. I feel like like they were here, but because of the live music and stuff, it like the energy just kept going up, kind of like what you were saying. So if my boy Lecrae calls you up and like, "Yo, Snoopy, you ready to go on tour over here? I need me a drummer."
I'm gone.
You gone?
I'm gone.
There's a few people. I mean, I like some Christian rap, man. But Lecrae, Trip Lee, those dudes for me.
Yeah.
They're the ones who
those
really,
the real spitters.
They speak some stuff to me that I can really relate to. And with you doing a lot of stuff in the church, have you ever had the opportunity to work with any of those guys?
I haven't yet.
I like how you said that. You said you haven't yet, which means, hey,
I'm still pushing.
Just because I haven't done it yet doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
Exactly.
And achieve those kind of goals.
He could be up in Orlando in a couple of weeks, and next thing you know, he runs into Lecrae, and right before his show at Universal, Rock the Universe, and he's like, "Hey, my drummer got sick. What you doing?" And he's like, D2AG, you ready? And he's like, you know it.
We stay ready.
So what do you got going on now? What's the current situation with our boy Sno0py Watts?
Okay. Well, what I have going on right now is I'm pretty much on a radio tour right now.
Awesome.
And on this radio tour, I'm pushing D2AG. So, as I told you guys earlier, it's an acronym for Dedicated to Achieving Greatness. And the purpose of it is to push a person to constantly strive towards reaching their fullest potential and whatever it is that they love. So what I'm doing as the face and, you know, as one of the artists of D2AG is just going to different stations. We'll be in different places, so you'll definitely be hearing my voice more. And we have my camera guy, he's not here with me, but it's Lucana. And yeah, so it's just pretty much just me and my team. We're just going around just kind of spreading the message of D2AG out.
Now, with the D2AG, how long has that been going on? And what was kind of like the, you know, the mindset where like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to, you know, do the Dedicated to Achieving Greatness and really bring this into like the forefront and be like the movement, if you will.
Okay. Well, what inspired it, it was something that I started working on back in 2013.
Okay, so it's been around for a couple years.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, like around 2013, it was just a PowerPoint then. You know, I was still in school, so I was just really kind of like utilizing my free time whenever I had something to just kind of like put little pieces together. But as far as like time progressing, it really became like more solid by the time, you know, it was time for me to graduate and everything. So after doing that, I got the opportunity to come here and to play drums. But what inspired me to really do it was something that I wanted to kind of apply to myself first and see like how it could affect me, like, you know, by applying the meaning to myself first. Yeah. So, you know, because it had to be something real in order for other people to get it. So after seeing how it went, like, it just kind of inspired me because I was able to graduate on time, and then I got a career opportunity to go right into doing what I love doing, you know, full time. So that inspiration for me, like, really kind of stuck with me, and then it just made me really want to push like what I had been working on outside of music, you know, and that was D2AG.
And that's a really good story right there, man, because, you know, it's one of those things, if you love what you do, it's not really work.
Right. Yep. You never work a day in your life.
There's thousands and millions of people that wake up every day, they hit the alarm clock, and they got like the, oh God, here we go again. I gotta go, you know, and they don't really, you know, they work because obviously you gotta work, you gotta make money, you gotta pay the bills, but they don't necessarily love what they do. They're just maybe good at what they're doing at their job, but it's not what they really want to do. So I really commend you for, you know, taking that time to really like sit back, reflect, what would I like to do with myself, and then starting the D2AG situation, and then really just kind of blossoming it from there. Like you said, it's been around for about 4 years. And who are some of the people on your team now that, you know, obviously you started it, you know, on yourself, but who are some people that have kind of grown into the movement that help you do your thing? Because, you know, you got to give some love to the crew.
Oh yeah, man, I definitely give credit where it's due. Well, there's about 4 to 5 of us right now. Okay. One guy is named Julian. He's an artist. He go by Jaybird.
Okay.
He's up in Tallahassee right now at FAMU. Another guy is local. His name is Patrick. He's the sound engineer for the West Coast Black Theater Troupe.
Okay.
Another friend of mine is Jeffrey Kaysen. He's a performer, a dancer out in Miami. Then I have another guy. His name's iPound, and he's out in West Palm right now. He's a producer. So he's done some great things himself. Shout out to iPound. And I also have, you know, like I said, I told you guys the cameraman for the team. So that's kind of like, to sum it up, just pretty much, you know, like the main route. But as far as our following, like, we have a following pretty much. We've reached a nationwide point now.
The cool thing about it is out of everybody you name, there's kind of like a person, like little different aspects of different things to do with like music and stuff like that. You know, somebody who produces, somebody who does like dance. It's really cool that you got different things like that, the different aspects of music. Now, what are some of the things that you're doing with the Black Theater Troupe?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, I just finished up the National Black Theater Festival tour.
Okay.
And I was up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, so it was amazing. And right now they have a show going called In the Heights. And I'm not working on In the Heights, but I have a possible, opportunity for Motown Christmas. So it's that'll be my next appearance.
I'm not gonna lie, Motown Christmas would definitely be dope. I was just that's so funny you bring this up because I was just telling them was on yesterday's show. As a matter of fact, one of the coolest things I've ever done. I got a lot of family up in Michigan, so my grandma, God bless her soul, she lived like 10-20 minutes from Detroit, like right outside of Detroit. So we traveled there. I was up there one time, my aunt and uncle know that I really love music, so they took us to the Motown Museum. It was like 10 or 15 bucks to get in. Probably the best 10 or 15 bucks I ever spent. And they took you through the original Motown studio and everything.
Oh, wow.
And just the history in there, like the pictures, seeing young Stevie Wonder when he was like 13 years old, seeing suits that Smokey Robinson wore on tour, like album covers. It was just really amazing. It's like, I get to see all this cool stuff for 10 bucks? Like, are you kidding me right now? And then, we were talking about, because we're kind of revamping the station a little bit. We're switching over. We got our new nice computer here by our sponsor, the Apple Core, and we kind of had to switch up some programs, and we're in the middle of reprogramming everything right now. And I think when you originally reached out to my brother Eric to begin with, it was when we were remodeling and building our second studio back here.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a chance to bring you in, but this Motown Christmas is like, that's something that I would definitely like to go see. And when
you should.
When you guys play around in the Florida area, do you guys do anything locally here in Sarasota?
Well, it depends on the show, and because Nate Jacobs, he's the founder and artistic director. Shout out to Nate. It just depends on what, like how it's really in demand. So sometimes it'll be a situation where they may want a show played out in Spring Hill, or they may want a different show in Orlando or something like that.
Yeah, because we actually know Sheldon. He's done a lot of stuff with them before. Amazing voice, really great singer. I've known him and Stanley since high school. We go way back. So to see more young men get involved in stuff like this, that's definitely positive for the community. Obviously, you got your D2AG situation that you're really trying to bring more positivity to the community, and it's really good to see young men really kind of like set the bar and set the example, because there's so much negativity and stuff out there, and things that kind of like pull you down and really like kind of discourage you and distract you from your goals almost. And D2AG is a movement that I see that is, like you said, dedicated to achieving greatness. So it's like you're almost kind of like not only are you taking the time to mold yourself to get to where you want to be, you're setting an example and then teaching people how to, follow in your footsteps and be that positive role model for people. And I salute you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, me as well, because like he said, with us noticing, just by starting the station and doing the last couple of Stop the Violences, we've been noticing that there are some people out there that are trying to give back and bring, the awareness of there is a way to achieve greatness, you know what I mean? And since you're dedicated to it, I totally support you, because of the fact that, we struggled last year just to make the Stop the Violence happen for this year's, because of the fact that the hoops we had to jump through because of the county, because we became so successful, because they really don't want to see anybody give back and make it like they want you to be separated and be apart. So it's good for people to be like, you know what, we're going to start a movement and we're going to do something about it. Just like I support that artist Logic who's doing the same thing without there, just showing the right movement. Like, you guys need to work together, be together, and we can achieve anything that we put our minds to.
Right. We want to make that statement. Like, we want it to be like, and it doesn't have to be like the typical thing. Like, everybody don't have to do the same thing, because everybody have their own passion.
There's your own way of achieving your own greatness is what you're saying. Yeah, and I love that.
And that's what I like about you. Like, if basically what he's saying and what I'm getting from it is like, hey, if you need some guidance, if you need a role model, and you need somebody who's kind of like taking you know, a reflection of themselves in the mirror and look and be like, hey, I need to do this and this and this and really get my life together. Like, if you want to be a computer programmer, do that. Be the best computer programmer you can be. If you want to be a chef, find the steps to take to get there, and you be the best chef you can be. So the fact that it's, you know, not even just like a musically driven movement. It's like whatever you want to be. If you want to be a fishing captain, let's dedicate yourself to that. Let's find out how to make it happen, and let's do that.
That's a cool word, dedicate.
It is.
That's going on my list.
It's going on your list. We have this words thing we're about to start bringing in, because we flipped from the afternoon show to the morning show, so we're trying to come up with some creative ways to bring new content. But between like the whole rebooting of everything.
Yeah, revamping, you know.
Revamping. We've had to kind of put a couple things in the back burner, so we're like working on some things. But it's just awesome because we keep getting all these different
words. Just words pop in your mind, and it was a segment I came up with when we were riding in the car. At first they thought I was joking, but it became creative and clever. So yeah, it's going to actually happen.
It was Caskey, you know Caskey, the rapper.
Yeah.
You know how he has that song Words? It was kind of the inspiration. Like, you know, there's words that are like, you know, the English language is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like I use this all the time. Like duck-billed platypus. Like, what the hell? What's a platypus? Like, I don't know. But some, you know, it's just like a word. Like, is it weird or is it a cool word? Is it like a weird word?
It's
like,
not a common word.
Yeah. We're like, man, we're gonna start thinking about these different words and like, you know, like what we get from them. Now, do you have a band? Like, does D2AG have like an official band?
Wow, it's interesting you asked that. Well, I'm actually planning on starting a band with it.
Okay.
Right now, it's just, you know, like I said, just more so myself and the team, and we also have like a YouTube channel that's coming out. So that's gonna be where we can reach out to our following, like as far as them being able to see our journey and just seeing like the different things that we're doing. And while that's going, like, you know, there's a D2AG band coming soon.
Well, I'm gonna let you know. I'm throwing this out there because there's a reason I asked this.
Okay.
Every year in June, we do a Stop the Violence event. So we just had it a couple months ago. We're actually in the process of through all the trials and tribulations we had to go through to, you know, like the hoops and all that stuff. People seen this when we were on Facebook and different things like that. And with the guy that we work with, Greg Cruz, shout out to him, really good, you know, community activists and stuff like that. A lawyer reached out to him and was like, hey, I'm tired of seeing you guys go through this struggle and trying to get these donations. Let me help you get your 501(c)(3). So we're actually in the process of getting the paperwork done for that, and you know, so that way this year's event can be even bigger. First event was like around 500. This last year, probably about 1,000 people throughout the day. But part of what we do is because it's a community event, kids are out there. You know, we gear more towards the kids because obviously, you know, you teach the younger generation how to conduct themselves, how to, you know, spread peace, love, and happiness. You don't have that violence going on. So what we do is we try to give people in the area chances to come out there, present some songs, do some music, perform. Mm-hmm. So if you guys get it down and you get a band before June, we would love to have you come out there and play some songs, man, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, giving people opportunity to shine, bring the community together, and hell, come out there for the free food, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations, like this year, it was, you know, even so much more better than last year. We had DJ AK, DJ Slick out there with them damn DJs, and the coolest thing about it is they always have like the little dance competitions for the kids, and we get little prizes for them. But people were so intrigued by the first year. We had people donating bounce houses and different things. And, you know, we did have some people out there playing in the band. Summer Survivors came out there. And one of the, I think the mayor and one of the guys from the county were like, hey, these dudes don't need to be out here set up on a sidewalk. Like, next year, you know, we're going to help you get a stage. So it's just coming together bigger and bigger. And, you know, we got people in the community like such as yourself down to, you know, promote positivity and, you know, obviously come out there, set up a booth. But we love to have you come out there and play for sure.
Man, I would love to be there.
Where would people be able to find you on all your social media so that way they can stay in touch?
Okay. Well, you could follow me at Sno0py Watts. That's Sno0py. And you could also follow the D2AG page on Instagram at D2AG_. And D2AG is also on Facebook. And you can follow me on Facebook as well at Donald Sno0py Watts. And on Facebook, the second O is a capital O.
Okay.
So yeah, it's there. And then on Twitter, you can follow D2AG at D2AG_.
Now I got a question, because obviously Snoopy's a nickname. So how did you come about that?
Well, it kind of started out as a concept, to be honest. It started out, like the actual cartoon, Snoopy. So with Snoopy, like, one of the things that I've always noticed about him was that he was just kind of like always in his own world. And then whenever anybody like would come to him like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Then he would kind of do it, and then he's right back on top of that house again. So it's kind of like I kind of adopted that as far as like the type of musician and working that I am. Like, I'm not hard to work with. I don't really get in the way of people. I do my job, and then it's like right back to my lane again. So
I like that now.
I'm glad you asked that question, because I was actually going to go in and ask him about his name, because my mom, like, Peanuts fan all the way through, so I knew about Snoopy. So I was like, is inspiration Snoopy? Like, Snoop Dogg is actually the same thing, inspired by Snoopy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He loves that cartoon. Like, if you ever ask him how he got his name, he'll say the same thing.
That's
like
crazy.
Snoopy.
Listen, my mom was a huge Peanuts fan as well. Woodstock, all that pig, man. I've probably seen Charlie Brown Christmas more times than the
man, the Great Pumpkin King.
all that stuff, man. Shout out, Mom. I love you. I'm not dissing, Mom. I ain't trying to.
No, trust me, we're Peanuts fans. We love Peanuts. We got Sno0py Watts in the building.
We do. And I had to ask, what made you kind of decide doing, because the spelling's interesting. Where did you decide to really kind of like, I'm gonna spell it with a 0?
I did that honestly just to be different. Like, I just wanted to
genius.
It wasn't like a deep meaning. I just wanted to do something different with it.
He deserves this right now. I mean, 'cause that was just. What he just said was just to be different. That's the best thing in life. You need to be different than other people. And just by you doing that, sets you aside. Like, that automatically stood out to me and him. Like, I was like, oh, that's cool. Stuff, zeros in there.
well, it is, too. And especially with, like, obviously Snoop Dogg, who's, had an immaculate career as a hip-hop artist. Definitely, if there was, like, a Mount Rushmore type of situation, something like that. He'd be like one of the people you would put in like a Hall of Fame or something like that. He's over 20 years in the game.
They might put his head up on the Mount Rushmore thing. Yeah. That'd actually be pretty cool.
And it's obviously you don't want to like try to sound like you're trying to be like Snoop Dogg. So like throwing the 0 in there, it does kind of
differentiate.
There we go. How do you say that? How can you say that?
I can say some words, man. I can say. It's weird.
That's why I'm smarter than me.
I'm smart at times. It's weird. I knew what you wanted to say. It's good. We got it.
Yeah, he's there.
Teamwork makes the dream work. But yeah, I like how you added the 0, because one thing in the music game, probably about 3-4 years ago, whatever, the artists started actually using some numbers and stuff in the spellings of their names, and I always thought it was unique. A lot of it you've seen more like the EDM.
The artist Black does that. His is
Black
his
with the 6.
Spells it.
There's a new artist out, Gashi, that
Tech 9 technically started it. I just want to point that out.
And Pickle put me on this dude Gashi.
Yeah, I know who he is.
G4.
He's putting you onto a lot of Juggalo music. I just want to point that out. Just so you know, you're slowly becoming a Juggalo. If you like it and you slowly like it,
he's growing.
He's converting. I just want to point that out. Pickle listens to a lot of my type of music, and he'll even admit that that's a Juggalo-like song. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know the artist.
He has some pretty good stuff, man.
Yeah, he does.
It's very intriguing because it kind of lets me know that you think on a different side of your brain. You know what I'm saying? You're not like in the standard mold of.
Which hand do you write with?
I'm right-handed.
See, that's why he automatically thinks on the opposite side of the brain.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I'm left-handed. I think on my opposite side of the brain of you guys. That's how it works. You guys didn't know that?
I didn't know that. We just got science straight now.
Yeah. That's really how it works. You use opposite side of the brain as the actual hand that you work with.
So aside from the Motown Christmas, what other projects and ventures do you got coming up?
Well, I'll be in California at NAMM with my endorsement company with Soul Tone Cymbals.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm excited about that. This is my first time going out there, so I'm ready to see, what the opportunity holds. And there's some more stuff coming up too, as far as like more production work, studio recording work. I'm getting ready to do some recording with Double A, the producer I was telling you about earlier. So I'm excited about that. And I also have a show coming up next spring called Soul Man, and that's going to be with the West Coast Black Theater Troupe.
Awesome.
Cool.
Now, who are some of your personal musical influences?
Oh man, it's a list. I would have to say Dennis Chambers, as far as drummers. Dennis Chambers, Marvin McQuitty, the late great Marvin McQuitty, Aaron Spears, Gerald Hayward, Thomas Pridgeon, Ronald Bruner Jr., Calvin Rogers. Like it's a list.
It's a list.
Yeah.
It gets like that, man. Now,
Are you gonna ask? I'll ask.
I'll let you do. I know you were.
We ask this to every guest we have in here, but especially our musical ones. What is your musical guilty pleasure? Like that you don't really admit that you listen to, but you listen to when nobody else is really around.
Ooh.
Mine's Taylor Swift. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah, when we asked Boosie, he had some good ones, but it was some stuff you totally didn't expect from him too. You know what I mean?
Have you ever heard of DJ Day?
Yeah.
And Miles Bonny?
Mm-hmm.
I listen to those guys.
Okay.
Not that their music is weird, but I really like.
But that's just just something you really get it.
Most people probably don't expect me to listen to them.
See, and that's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Like his is Taylor Swift. What was mine? I don't even remember.
I think yours has to be Ariana Grande because every song.
Well, that's not really a guilty pleasure because I like her. Like I admit it openly. That's not.
Yeah, but
there's nothing guilty about that.
But you're a grown
I feel
dude.
great.
Like
she's a grown woman, isn't she? She is of
but
age.
but it's still not like. Listen,
It's not like she's like 12. That would be weird.
No, I'm just saying. Like most people are like, hell yeah, I got that new Ariana Grande CD, and every time she always tries to sneak it in on me. It's like, man, I got some new music. You need to check out the new Ariana Grande song.
I can't help it. There's something about her. Like when she was talking about like every day, she knows she wanted me to give it to her every day. I know she was talking about me.
It's just funny. It's just funny when we do the music program because you're like, hey, yo, I got some new music, man. There's a new Boosie track. Got some new Black. By the way, Selena Gomez is in there. You should check that track out. I'm like,
yeah.
Right.
I mean, we wouldn't even have Ed Sheeran in here if it weren't for me. Like, come on.
Not saying that I don't secretly dance to it when y'all are before y'all. You know, I get here before all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I might put it on and dance to it when y'all are here. But hey, you know what I'm saying? You bring it to my attention.
I'm just saying it happens.
It happens.
I like
James
Ariana
out to that
Grande.
body heat.
She might be my new guilty pleasure. I really don't know who my guilty pleasure was back in the day. It probably was like Christina Aguilera or something like
Is
that.
it Selena Gomez when we sing the repeat song?
I don't know. I don't know the names of the songs. I just know how they go.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get stuck on some of that stuff. Give everybody your social media stuff one more time before we take a break, and that way they can follow you. Go ahead and get them likes up.
All right, follow me on Instagram at Sno0py Watts. That's Sno0py Watts. Follow D2AG on Instagram at D2AG_. And follow me on Facebook at Donald Sno0py Watts.